Canelo Alvarez snaps on David Benavidez and his dad. It says that David Benavidez's record is trash and he haven't done nothing to deserve a fight with him. Is Canelo ducking David Benavidez, or what's really going on? Well, I'm gonna talk about it in this video, so make sure that y'all hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. So what's happening with it, y'all? So last night, we seen Canelo Alvarez go in the ring and pretty much dominate Gennady Golovkin. You know, I had Canelo winning every round but 2 rounds in that whole entire fight. We saw the judges try to rob Canelo, and you know, basically, I don't know what they was doing, scoring the fight, a 1-round fight, but everybody that watched that fight last night knew that that fight was pretty much a blowout on Canelo's behalf. Anyway, the fight that everybody been wanting to see is Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez. You know, David Benavidez has been Canelo Alvarez's mandatory on 2 separate occasions, and somehow Canelo Alvarez always seems to slither his way up out of fighting David Benavidez. Now, the media has been on Canelo Alvarez for some statements that he made saying that he's not going to fight any Mexican fighters. And that's what he said out of his own mouth. So, of course, he's going to be asked about those statements. And, of course, David Benavidez's name is going to come up when he's asked about those statements, because David Benavidez is half Mexican. He's not from Mexico, but he is half Mexican. So, you know, David Benavidez and his dad, they've had comments to make about Canelo, saying that he's not going to fight no more Mexicans. David Benavidez's dad, he didn't hold back. He said straight out, look, man, the dude is a pussy. You know what I'm saying? The dude is ducking my son, and everybody knows what it is. Well, David Benavidez, his take on it was a little different, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But last night, Canelo Alvarez was asked about David Benavidez again in regards to the comments that he made that he's not going to fight any more Mexicans in his career. And Canelo, you know, he seemed real agitated. He said he was pissed off. He was sick of people asking him about David Benavidez. And he said, you know what? David Benavidez haven't done shit in his career. His resume is trash. The only person he's fought on his whole resume is Anthony Durrell. He's only fought 1 champion his whole career. So what has he done to deserve a fight with me? And y'all are pissing me off asking me about him. I've heard the things that his dad said, and they don't know shit. Now, like I said, his dad had things to say about Canelo because his dad felt that Canelo was ducking and that he's being a pussy, making excuses so he don't have to fight the top competition. That's how David Benavidez's dad feels about Canelo. Now, like I said, David Benavidez, on the other hand, he says, well, you know, I think he was just talking about Mexican fighters that was based out of Mexico, that's born in Mexico. I'm not full Mexican. I'm half Ecuadorian, and I'm also not from Mexico. I'm from America, so I don't think he was talking about me. Well, let me tell you, David, he was talking about you. And the reason he said that is so he don't have to fight you. And also so he don't have to fight Zordo Ramirez. Zordo Ramirez and David Benavidez are 2 fighters that Canelo Alvarez don't want to fight. We see that Canelo Alvarez have problems with certain style fighters. Bivol showed that. You know, in the past, we've seen guys like Lara and Mayweather show that. You know, and you know, a lot of people were saying, oh, well, he just has problems with guys that are slick and that can move and that can box. Well, we also seen that he had problems with tall, rangy fighters that have a high output, right? You know, he's fought guys like Colin Smith. Colin Smith was basically killing himself to make weight. Let's just keep it real. He said it himself, and we haven't seen Colin Smith fight at 168 ever since he fought Canelo Alvarez. We know that Canelo has a problem with rangy, long guys that have a good jab, that got power, and that have a high output because Canelo Alvarez has a history of fading down the stretch. And what does David Benavidez have? He's long, have a very good jab, and he has just an unbelievable high output, right? And I think Canelo knows that if he don't get David Benavidez out of there early, that he can't keep up with David Benavidez's work rate, and Canelo knows that he's gonna fade down the stretch. Now, do I pick David Benavidez to beat Canelo? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's a very tough fight, and it looks like lately, Canelo Alvarez is shying away from the very tough fights. Yeah, he fought Bivol, but I honestly think that they thought that Bivol was fooled. They underestimated how good Bivol was. If you look at Bivol's fights leading up to Canelo Alvarez, he didn't look that good. He tricked me. I didn't think that Bivol was going to perform the way that he did against Canelo Alvarez. So, of course, Canelo and his team studying Bivol, they didn't think that he was going to have the performance against Canelo. They thought that Canelo Alvarez was going to be able to get in the ring and have his way with Bivol like they did with other fighters like Rocky Fielding and Callum Smith. But it wasn't the case. And he was in for a long night. And I think after about 3 rounds, he realized that. And he faded down the stretch. Faded horribly. In his fight with Triple G. He faded on the back end of the fight with Triple G last night. And he admitted that he got tired and then he faded. So we know that him getting in there with somebody like a Zordo Ramirez or a David Benavidez, he's going to have a lot of problems. Can he win those fights? Yeah, he can win the fights, but he knows it's not going to be easy, and he knows those are fights that he could possibly lose. So in my opinion, in my eyes, he's making excuses, right? Getting himself out of these tough fights by saying he's not going to fight any more Mexican fighters. I mean, what else would it be? You're not doing Mexican fighters a favor, right? Holding them back from a big payday with you from not fighting them. Like, that's the most backward shit in the world. If you are for your Mexican people or for Mexican fighters, the best thing you can do is get in the ring with them and give them a payday like you did with Triple G. You know what I'm saying? You did it for Triple G. Triple G made $20 million up front last night because he got a payday off of you. That's why Triple G was sticking around. That's why Triple G was begging to fight you for so long, because he wanted another payday. Everybody know that. So for Canelo Alvarez to come out, right, last night, and when he addressed the situation, saying that David Benavidez haven't done nothing to deserve a fight with him. First of all, man, who made you the king? Who made you the sanctioning body, right? Who made you in charge of everything? How can you say that this man that's been your mandatory on several different occasions haven't done nothing? That ain't for you to decide, right? You are supposed to be a competitor that fights anybody that gets in your way. And he's ranked right up under you at 168. So your job is to face all the top level competition that comes up in your way. And you haven't done that when it comes to David Benavidez. So you can't fight guys like Abner Yildirim, Rocky Fielding, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., and guys like that, and then turn around and say that, oh, well, David Benavidez haven't done nothing to be able to fight me. What has he done? It's a lot of guys that's fought you that really haven't done nothing. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I fuck with Caleb Plant the long way. But what had Caleb Plant done? You feel me? If we're going to keep it real. So it ain't up to you to decide who's done what and who ain't done what. You're getting paid $50, $45 million a fight. You are not to decide, right, who they put in front of you and who hasn't done what. That's not for you to decide. You're getting paid, bruh. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and you wearing the crown. You feel me? So, man, that's why a lot of people don't rock with Canelo. Yeah, he's a hell of a fighter, but the way that he moved, He's not moving like a real champion at times. And yeah, I give it to Canelo for, fighting 4 times in 1 year and staying more active than any of these other fighters. I salute him for doing that. But like I said, man, some of the things that he's been doing, he's not moving right. You're making excuses. We don't need all those excuses. David Benavidez's father wasn't wrong with what he said. And David Benavidez, he wasn't wrong with the things that he said about Canelo ducking him in the past. It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? If the shoe fit, wear it. If you're not ducking him, step up to the plate and prove it. We don't want to see you fighting no John Ryder and guys like this. You saying that if Bivol wins, you might fight him next. But if you don't fight him next, get your hand surgery and go and fight David Benavidez. You got all the crowns at 168. Respect to that. Now go fight David Benavidez, a real hungry young dog, and shut everybody up if you can. If you can shut everybody up, go in there and do it. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Like and subscribe to the channel. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.